Hello and welcome to 3 Minute Gaming. I'm Nathan, and today I'm going to tell you if this game's worth their time and bandwidth. Today's game is Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. Another sacrificial lamb on the corporate altar of games as service. Was everybody actually just too hard on this game? Well, let's find out. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is a multiplayer open-world third-person movement shooter with the usual games as service trappings that infest and corrupt every potentially good game these days. Brainiac has mind-controlled basically all the Justice League except Wonder Woman, so Waller breaks Harley Quinn, Boomerang, King Shark, and Deadshot from Arkham to try and salvage this situation. Unfortunately, Brainiac's mind control seems irreversible, meaning you're gonna have to do what the title says, kill the Justice League. The story's actually pretty engaging, especially if you enjoy this squad's brand of dark and irreverent humor. It sacrileges the Justice League in a way I appreciate, even if it does Arkham's Batman pretty dirty here, and has enough twists and turns that I want to see it through. Gameplay is a movement-empowered third-person shooter, reminding me a lot of games like Crackdown, Anthem, and Sunset Overdrive. Each of the 4 Suiciders has a completely unique movement toolkit. Harley swings off bat gear, Deadshot has a jetpack, Boomerang warps to his rangs, and King Shark can jump real good. Finding which one gels with your playstyle is crucial to having a good time. Everybody has guns here, Lord be damned, and combat plays out pretty straightforwardly. Shoot weak points on humanoid enemies. A core mechanic is ranged counter. When an enemy charges up a big move, you can pop off a counter shot to interrupt them, and you pretty much need to master this to beat the bosses. Another small wrinkle is your shields and health don't regenerate. To get them back, you shoot enemies in the legs until they stagger, then melee to heal off them. You later get augments to your weapons via poison ivy, such as ice and fire, elemental attacks, and so on. But the game is absurdly easy even on the hardest difficulty, so your tools are kind of just for variety. This is all woven into the usual games as service slop. Expect loot of different colors, rarity, modifiers, and so on. Expect tons of superfluous currencies to augment or craft loot. Expect a battle pass for cosmetics for some reason. This is done alone or with buddies in one big open world map filled with a lot of the same thing to do over and over. There's a couple of Riddler races and trophies, and that's about it. Once you beat the main mission, there's 6 sister revisions of the map to run in parallel universes. There are going to be 13, but the game bailed on finishing its content updates. And yeah, I could say more, but let's just move on to the pros and cons. So what do I like about the Suicide Squad game? Well, the traversal mechanics mixed with gunplay is actually quite fun. Again, reminding me a lot of Anthem or Crackdown. Each character having different mobility kits makes swapping around enjoyable, and mastering the various skill sets is empowering. Additionally, I actually really enjoyed the story, and the humor actually landed more than it didn't. It was actually King Shark that pretty much stole the show for me. I wish I could have taped Boomerang's mouth shut. And lastly, there's DNA of a good multiplayer Arkham game here, buried deep down. And sometimes it does pop up now and again. I actually found myself wanting to play more, especially with friends. Especially once we all got into the swing of things, I'm more enjoying just flying around the city. When it comes to the bad, the games as service stuff is just a massive hindrance to what might have been a decently fun gameplay loop. It kills the story's pacing by forcing you to do dull things between missions, with most of the best parts of the story being backloaded near the end of the game, and the grind for both loot and endless battle passes makes it feel kind of like slop. On that note, the missions are all the same, usually a variant of stand in an area and kill stuff. Once you've seen 2 or 3, you've basically seen them all, which means missions start feeling tired even before the story ends. And lastly, this game still has a ton of bugs. It crashed on me multiple times on Xbox, froze on PS5, and we had tons and tons of online weirdness issues with the game locking up in cutscenes, booting players, and so on. As you know, I rate games here on a 3-point scale, must play, maybe consider, and don't bother, and I waffled on this final score the entire time I played through it, even considering becoming Two-Face and deciding it with a coin flip. Suicide Squad is filled to the brim with games as service slop. Its loot becomes tired pretty quick, and there's still a fair amount of bugs. But, and here's the turnaround, despite that, I still wanted to keep playing, mostly because I found the empowering mobility and combat generally fun, and the story really engaging. I got the deluxe edition for $5 on Xbox, and it's currently free on PS Plus. And at that price, I actually do recommend giving it a shot, especially with friends. I really couldn't recommend paying more than $10 for it though, and for the love of God, don't buy their battle pass or any of that crap. This practice needs to stop. So congrats, Suicide Squad. I liked you better than Anthem and that Avengers game, which isn't saying much, but hey, it's something I guess. Let me know what you think in the comments, and regardless, go out there and maybe give this one a look if you have PS Plus.